So after that, I would, hey, get your laser off of me. Fratricide happens. It's so depressing, but yeah,
So,
Swiss cheese.
so did the SEAL Team Six guys not know that you were American? Did they think you were a bad guy element that had come in?
I never talked to the guys, and it was a target that we meshed together. I'm not sure if we started together or they did this half, we did the other half. It might have been he turned with his had left his laser on and didn't know it. I don't know. I never talked to the guy. There were other times with the Rangers. Rangers did it where I did. Found out exactly who that was. I knew the vehicle. Yeah, they're looking around. They see, you see a person and a guy wearing an AK vest looks very similar. So, I mean, I was super, super, super disciplined with that. Like, make sure, always make sure. Definitely no kids and women and even women who would, have bombs. It's like, please don't do this. Please don't do this. You're trying to stop them, but, or the guy dressed as a woman who shot my three buddies right in front of me.
Well, I told you this last time we talked. Brian Gilligan it's told me that story. I interviewed him, and I did an interview with him. I don't know how many of these names you'll recognize, but it was Brian Gilligan, Bob Keller, and Nate Dudley. We did like a group interview,
Oh, cool.
and so before I talked, because Gilligan was one of those
Yep.
guys you're referring, so he had told me that story
Hmm.
like a year and a half before we had ever spoken. And then another guy who was there told me that story privately. And then lo and behold, I meet you and you were also there. It's like, what are the odds that you have all
Yeah.
these guys? Um, that's a crazy one. That how did they survive that is something that I've not been able to wrap my head around.
That's all God. And that's becoming like a unifying story to me. There's a guy named he's awesome. He's a working as a sheriff's deputy and I love him so much, man. So he doesn't go on and tell the story. That's fine. He says you do, and that's fine. Like we're cool. Um, he taught me so much. Uh, he was one of the guys there that got shot. And but what was funny was so after that first interview, I gave credit to who shot the man, ma'am, the man dressed as a woman, to somebody else. It was like, blah blah blah. We talked for like 3 hours. And like, hey, by the way, I shot that guy 6 times as I was falling down with a bullet in my side. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. I said, oh, so you do care about the stories? It's got to be right. He's like, yeah, because he's like, well, I don't want to. We shouldn't be telling our stories out there, but if you're gonna, get it right. So I'm like, all right, you
That
got it.
is, I mean, well, that's the definition of badass that you're falling to
Heck
the
yeah,
ground after taking an AK round and you're dumping 6 rounds in the other direction.
that's movie shit. Yep, that's good stuff.
And when that situation happened, correct me if I'm wrong, the three of them were in front of you, right? So you're in the
Yep,
fourth.
yep.
So they get hit. Did you see where the shooter was before the shooting had started?
No, I was like, so we were coming around a corner, and I was just breaking the corner when the first guy's coming back. Damn it, because he had been shot 5 times previously, and he got shot every rotation. It's like George is gonna get shot. He's coming back saying "damn it" before as I'm hearing the blast, and we're flanking out to do our thing, and it was over before it started. For us, for my team, we were behind that team, Gilligan's team. Gilligan took one in the gut though.
Yeah, and he pulled up when we did that interview. He showed it. I think he pulled up his arm too. That's still one of the craziest stories. And every time I hear it from anyone who was there, that this dude was just dressed as a woman. And Gilligan told me when I interviewed him that he was convinced that was a dude under there. But
Mm.
the people on the radio were like, "No, it's not. Don't engage." And he was like, his exact words were, "When I turned." And I looked and I could see a dude with facial hair. I knew I was effed because
Yeah.
now he's got the first shot and I don't. And I could have smoked him previously and I didn't because the people watching above were like, it's a woman, ignore it. And he's damn lucky he's alive.
Yeah. Yeah. All three of them. And yeah, and that dude was ready to die because a lot of times they'll do that and they'll just spray automatic and like you very rarely hit somebody like that or a grenade or body bomb. And they just, but this dude, I mean, he hit everybody he was aiming at. He was willing, ready to die. So there's a lot of warriors out there over there, and they're crafty. It's not easy. Well, anybody can kill caveman. You know, the ranger officer says, well, sir, how many cavemen have you killed? Because none of them are easy. None of them. I don't care the circumstance.
You're preaching to the converted on that one, no doubt. Um, Speaking of kind of performance, you said personality will get you fired before performance does. That is a fascinating quote mindset. When it comes to being told it's time for you to go, so you said personality. What are some personality traits that are just not going to be acceptable? And then what are things you could do? Maybe you're a really good operator, but if you do, you an accidental discharge or you don't show up for something, what are things that are guaranteed to get you shown the door?
I think trying to be somebody you're not, or trying to get there so that you can be that, which everybody is to a point, but just not being you, not being where you're at. One time I was out there shooting and we had this instructor, Jerry Micklick, a guy who can freaking throw an aspirin up in the air and shoot it with a 22. I saw him, and I'm having a bad day, so I'm just not hitting anything. He's like, wow, you really suck. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I really do, man. I got to get better. So it's just, I think being where you're at, be where you're at and be you. And if you don't know you, then learn, figure out who you are. That's what I'm doing right now. Um, and people see that. So commanders see that, the psychs see that, you go through psych training. I had a cop ask me once as I'm getting a restraining order on all my weapons taken from me for doing nothing. What do you think about sending criminals to the front lines? And I was like, man, I didn't even answer him, but people are that clueless, you know? Like you have to have a high score to get in the infantry, higher for the Rangers, the unit. I mean, my teammate was like the smartest ever on the Wonderlic or one of them tests. And he's built like a cave troll and, builds liquid cooled computers on the side. Like it's just really, really interesting people.
That's genius level intelligence.
Yeah.
When it comes to, so you got that answer, what is like, do they have things where it's like there's zero tolerance for this, like again an accidental discharge,
Yeah.
or if they find out that you're abusing drugs or whatever, if you get caught doing something like that, is it see you later, don't even think about coming back?
Yeah. I mean, so AD is that, at least you're gone for a year. Maybe you can come back. Accidental discharge. Usually alcohol related incidents are, you're gone for sure. And everybody knows that. Same with the Rangers and, probably everywhere. But personality wise, I'm thinking to people who just like didn't fit. It usually happens pretty quick, but there's some who are there maybe a year, two, three.